Right folks, welcome to this exciting video where you once again join me at a brand new bit of history that we have not even seen on the channel ever before. Just like the last episode, I've come to a piece of Cold War history, and like this path here says footpath to Bulgavia's Loch, and this little town kind of village that you can see in the distance, that's Letham, and this here is the Letham Cold War ROC bunker. Yeah, we've come here, look at it folks, check it out. It's so cool to come to these and you can see the difference. They've all degraded and decayed at different rates depending on the weather and the conditions and the level of care that's been given them over the years. Like that last one that we saw in the video was like restored and it was still in really good condition, as if it was like a brand new bunker. Check out this one's got the vent missing. The sun's not at a very good angle for recording today. Oh yeah, look, there's the inside of the building through that vent. Wow. That's where normally, like on the last episode we saw there was like the black grill on there. And then there's a little pipe which inside there was a pump, and all the water which ran in, they would pump it back out. We're not going to whenever ever break our way in or force our way in at any of these locations. When they're not open, we didn't bother disturbing them. Here's an interesting point of history folks that you don't, whoa, just about fell. This is something you don't get on all the bunkers, but look at this. This here has been for mounting a mast on here, look at that. I'm sure that's what those particular bits were for. They mounted on a mast, which you didn't see on all these bunkers. And then obviously this was the same here. Okay, and that's where obviously the other air vent is at the other end of the bunker. So it's like the bunkers weren't massive. They were only from this area here to there. And there was like a little toilet at that end. Day and night, obviously people were stationed here, monitoring for nuclear blasts in the Cold War, and then they would report to like higher authorities, more important folk. Even the Met Office and that they would like decide what direction the fallout was going to go. I do apologise for the wind here. That wind does show you though how it would spread the nuclear radiation around the land so quickly, and that's the reason they wanted to know like what direction it was going. They would have to evacuate the appropriate towns and that. It's pretty crazy, like history, and it's not even long ago. Some of these bunkers closed in 1991, and other ones like closed way back in 1968. So yeah, there's a couple of different eras of time frame on these like Cold War bunkers. Sometimes bits were taken from the older shut down ones to like restore the newer bunkers and get them up to a higher standard. So cool folks, I'm going to get a couple of photos of this and then I'll get back to you. So yeah, it was interesting when I was taking those photos. I was noticing a few bits of history, like the original green ROC paint still on it. You can see how it's peeling and decaying. All these bits have fallen off. These little louver kind of looking things here, I think originally they were made of wood, and then on some of the updated ROC posts they were then made out of like metal, similar to what we saw on the last ROC bunker in the last video. It's not often we'll have two ROC bunkers back to back, but when there's brand new history in the area to be explored, it's just so much fun. And then like coming to visit these places, you get a sense of the history and like the defence of the country, which you didn't actually notice driving past here. You wouldn't even think about that unless you knew this was here. Look at this folks, here's another detail. It's had this bit here. I'm sure some of this was for the radio equipment. Wow. See, I'm not sure, I don't think it was a master post. There is at Edsel like a master post, and it's got a slightly different aerial setup I think, with like 3 cement bits for a big aerial. But this was, I'm sure this was also for radio equipment, because I'm sure the mast was somehow on here. The shadow's not at a very good angle, and I do apologise for that folks. That's what happens if you're out exploring in the morning or late at night. I can see it's had a repaint at one time. It's been one type of green and then it's been a different green. And then there's actually a third green right there, wow. So that shows it's been like restored. In its years of use, it was restored 3 times. 2 times, because the first paint would have been the original paint. Anyway folks, look at this. This is where they attached on one of their survey devices for the blast. There was 3 different devices they used. They measured the height of the explosion and like the size of the explosion, and also like the distance it was away. So then like they could control obviously the defence against the nuclear attack. And like I've said on other ROC bunker videos, the people that manned these stations would have likely have perished from radiation if they were so close to a blast that they could see it from here. Like, they would have maybe perished, because these bunkers weren't actually like radiation proof. They were only like partially safe just to get those important measurements sent down to like the main hub of the British Defence, and then they could make their plans. Yeah folks, ROC history. I'm just taking another walk around because it's cool. Sometimes you notice more history the longer you look. When these bunkers were built, it was like they would just pick an area. Obviously you've got a fantastic view of the land all the way around. So like they picked up a bit of land like this and they dug a big hole, and then they just built like the cement cast of the bunker, poured it, and then once it was built they just covered it back over with earth. But this one is in line with the field here, but it's unusual how it's higher than the road by this much. Because when I went past the other day I was clearly able to see the lid, the hatch. But then these bunkers weren't necessarily like a secret hidden to people who would be driving past here on a daily basis. It was more a monitoring post as protection. It's only the enemy that you wouldn't want to ken what you were doing. Yeah folks, I'm going to make my way out of here. It's been such a cool little bunker to visit, and it's been so interesting to see it, and it's cool always to keep on documenting new things. And yeah, it's been cool this year just keeping on going to fresh locations, new places, and the amount of history and forgotten history that we've discovered is just incredible. So yeah, look at that, there's an old relic in the ground there, a piece of metal. It's most likely a piece of farming history lying around here. Anyway folks, the wind's starting to gust again, so I'll end this video here. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next adventure very soon.